Let me know what you think. Today I'm streaming from my car because I'm at Richmond. I've got an appointment in about an hour. I'm a bit bored. I got here super early. There was no traffic. So I'm going to do this today because this is what I wanted to do in the first place. Let's take a look. Now we're going to go to my SuperCoach team. By the way, I plan on making 0 trades this week. The trades are going to be a little bit later on in probably just before what's it called? The break? Not the break. The buy round. Just before the buy round, I reckon that's when I'm going to make some moves. Lockie Jones finally played his 3rd game, which meant that he went up to 181,000, which was great. Highmore didn't play after being dropped, so I'm pretty content in getting rid of Highmore. Cozzy went down in value, not the best, but I still don't want to make a trade just yet. Giath, wow, his form has just been shit. After dominating in the early rounds of the season, his form has been pretty bad. Like, it's 49, 101, 61, 55. Not great. Look, I'm hoping that he can recover and he can get back into some of that form that we saw him in at the start of the year. I'm going to hold on to him. Short, ordinary game on his part. Stewart, man, Ridley played alright. Clark played alright. Look, that didn't play great. Look, let's be honest. I had a really shit game. I wanted to beat Ty. I talked about it last week. And I didn't. I just lost 2,112. Not a terrible score, but I did lose, which kind of sucks. And it's largely because of how many players I had that just had stinkers. I mean, I brought in Brad Crouch. In his first game with me, he scores 55. Collier Dawkins, 50. Powell, 49. Stewart was below his best. Clark, 58. Gia, 55. Cozzy, 52. That's about where we expect him. Short should be in the hundreds too. Boak, 96. Would have been nice for him to break the 100. I mean, I didn't have Oliver as captain. I wish I did. Probably would have helped me. Bontempelli, Oliver, Walsh, Merritt. Look, they played well and all, but it's pretty ordinary effort. I mean, Grundy played well too. Hickey played okay. But Flynn played better, so I kind of wish that I had him on the field. The Waterman decision, well, kind of paid off. Only because Atu was a late change and McKiri actually came into the team. So Martin was below average. Danaher is, actually playing some pretty good football. I'm going to keep him. Zorko, yep. Zeeble didn't have the best game either. So I'm going to be honest, this was a really ordinary round for me, and I still scored over 2,100. So I'm kind of happy with not with the result, but I'm happy with the fact that after such an ordinary round, I was still able to score a decent score. And that's the main thing. I can see that one viewer's watching at the moment. Thanks for tuning in, guys. But yeah, it's just such an ordinary... Oh, James Taff, 93 penis. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. It's just... thanks for your contribution, man. How have you been? How you going? Let me know. Why? But look, at the moment, that I'm pretty content with my team. I don't think I've got a big matchup coming up this week. Probably going to put... And again, this is before teams are announced, so I'm not going to make him emergency. I'm just going to put Treacy as emergency. I did bring him in. He could be a good replacement. If a ruckman is down one day, I could trade him into the ruck and then move in a ruckman that's not playing as a ruck forward sort of swap later on. So I'm going to keep and hold on to Treacy because he is getting game time and he's also scoring. Not great, but he's scoring. So it's better than scoring a 0, I suppose. I'm glad you're having a great time, man. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. But yeah, at least he's scoring, I suppose. I'm going to bring in Brayshaw. Look, who are North playing and who are Richmond playing this week? So, North Melbourne are playing St Kilda and Richmond are playing Adelaide. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably going to pick Collier Dawkins over Powell. I have a feeling Richmond are going to do a better job over Adelaide, and I think Collier Dawkins will score better as a result. I will have Powell. Again, this is subject to changes. If changes happen, I'm going to obviously make some changes. But Brayshaw hopefully comes back this week, so that'll help me. Do I stick with Lockie Jones or Kaczynski? I don't know. I don't really know. Who are North playing and who are the Port Adelaide playing? Let's go back and take a look who North and Port Adelaide are playing. So we're going to go with North are playing St Kilda. And Port... I checked that 2 seconds ago. I should know that. And Port Adelaide are playing Fremantle. I'm going to be honest with you. I reckon... Alright, sorry, who are the Hawks playing? Not North Melbourne. The Hawks. Hawthorn are playing Gold Coast. Ooh, I reckon Cozzie's going to do well. I reckon I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave Cozzie into the team only because I have a feeling Cozzie's going to do well against a poor Gold Coast side. He'll probably kick 2 or 3 goals, which might hopefully push his score to the late 60s, if I'm lucky, the early 70s. So I think I'm going to keep him in the side. I mean, Oliver, after that game, let's just see who Collingwood... Oh, I'm getting sick of this. Let's just take a look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the AFL app. And I'm just going to stick on the rounds. Matches this week. 11. So, they're playing the Bulldogs. I'm not going to go with Clayton Oliver. The Bulldogs midfield is insane. And I have a feeling Clayton Oliver is not going to be able to keep up with that. Collingwood playing Geelong. The Cats are in some pretty good form. Grundy might even have a quiet one as a result. What's the mark on Grundy? Grundy had his third highest score of the season after he had 23 touches and 33 hitouts. Clearances. Took advantage of the depleted power ruck department, yet still managed to go down in value, which makes total sense. What other stars do I have? I don't think it's too much of a risk to put either Bontempelli or Clayton Oliver as the captains, because, well, let's be real, those two are going to be matching off against each other, and I don't like it when two solid teams are matching off against each other. We've got... I'm not really sure who I'm going to select as my captain this week. I might go a risk and just say like a Dusty or a... I might take a risk and say a Dusty, or even... Because Dustin Martin plays so well at the MCG. He just does so well at the MCG. But then Port Adelaide against Fremantle. I mean, look, I might swing my captain. Onto someone like Boak. But I will make a decision on that a little bit later. I'm probably going to go with a Boak. Can I swap? Can I do a... Let's take a look. You know what I could do? I could put it on Clayton Oliver. And then... if things go wrong on the Saturday, what I could do is I could make a change and keep Grundy. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Clayton Oliver. He just had such a great game. I think I'll just back him for this one. As I said, I think I'll just kind of back him for this one. Waterman played. If Waterman doesn't play, I don't really know what I'm going to do. My forward line's pretty weak still. I would like to make another trade in my forward line. Not this week. I want to fix the Cozzie thing. Now, last week during the stream, I was talking about Darcy Moore, and I didn't end up going with it, and I regretted that because he decided to have his best game of the season and score 142 and jump up 55k, which is bullshit, by the way. It's exactly what I thought was going to happen, and I second-guessed myself, and now I'm sitting here regretting this decision. Meanwhile, the player I decided to pick up instead, Brad Crouch, scored 55. Almost 90 points less. Genius decision there, Peter. You were fantastic. By the way, I don't have Oreo with me today. I know that I've titled this video, My Dog Helps Me With My Trades. I don't have Oreo with me today because I'm doing this on the street. Like, I'm literally on the side of the road doing this, so it's kind of a weird stream. The back seat of my car is at least clean compared to last time I did this, which is good. Though there's a sports bra in the back seat of my car, which is not mine. It's not mine. Don't need the extra support when I go for a run, but you know. So what I'm thinking of doing, and the reason I decided to swap that trade back is because I was thinking of bringing in Shannon Hearn, who was back last week. Now I knew Hearn would go down in price, which he has. He's gone down in value. He scored an 84 in return from injury. I just feel like he's a better option than a Darcy Moore, but I also feel like he's going to drop in value one more time. That's because that's the thing. See that 6 in round 4. I know that 6 happened like quite a while ago and it was due to an injury, but because there's a 6 lingering around, he's probably going to go down in value one more time this week. And that's when I plan on snapping him up. He'll probably go down to an early 4. So next week, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to trade out. I'm hoping I can do it. I'm hoping I can trade out a player like Kaczynski and then someone else, possibly a Flynn. By then, Flynn, I'm hoping will be pushing to about 400k. I could make that trade. I haven't decided. It kind of depends on how the rest of the players fluctuate. If Giat has another shit game, I might even just trade him out, potentially. So then I trade out Cozzy and Giat and then get Shannon Hearn in, and then potentially another defender. But at the same time, I haven't decided. I could trade out Giat and Highmore even. That might fix up the immediate issue of Giat. Look, I know what he's capable of, so I think I might keep him. His best is still pretty good. Second lowest of the season. I'm assuming the word score is meant to be there. Second lowest score of the season for CJ. As he continues to lose value, you need to look at trading him out fast. Shit. That's not good. That's not good. Look, I personally don't think... I personally think he'll be around the 400 mark still. I mean, I could make the jump now and trade him out and put in like a Shannon Hearn. But let's be real, like, what other defender? Like, let's take a look. What other defender is anywhere near his value? Lowest price. What other defender is anywhere near his value that's worth picking up? Really? James Madden played his second game. It's like, look, it's not bad. He's around that. He's on the threshold. James Madden would be a decent player to pick up if he plays this week. You know, he's a dual position player too. He scored... What did he score? He scored 47 and 78. Like, he's going to go up in value. But honestly, are you going to get rid of Giat for him? No, you're not. Then we've got Nicholas Murray. He went up in value last week. You're not going to get rid of it for him. Harry Edwards went up in value. You're not going to get rid of Giat for him. Lockie Jones went up in value. I've already got him. Even still, you're probably not going to get rid of Giat for him. Neville Jetta, he's a bit meh. He's just a bit meh. Bunting, you're not going to do that. Sam J. Reid, you're not going to do that. Liam Stoker, probably not. Lewis Young, definitely not. Zach Guthrie, 100% not. Kyle Hartigan, Burgess. Like, look at the ordinary names that I've just not, like, they're just not that great players. Nicholas Cox, some values there. Jordan Clark has some value too when he plays, but I feel like at the moment they're both roughly worth at what they're worth. You're not going to gain too much more in either of those players. You probably should have picked them up at the start of the year. I did start with Clark, by the way. And then you've got Cozzy. So anything below that is like a downgrade anyway. And there's just really not much. Noah Bolter, he can play. With Tom Lynch out of the team, See, now with Tom Lynch out of the team and Ivan Soldo going to the long-term injury list, there's a chance that Noah Bolter could play more ruck and even forward. But his scores have not been amazing. I mean, apart from that game of 115, which was fantastic against the Lions, 78 in round 7, 72 in round 3. Actually, his first 3 games are pretty good, 75, 90, and 72. But then after that, he scored like 39, 58, 40, 49, 28. He's just a bit hit and miss, and there's more misses than hits. Jimmy Webster, not really worth your time, I don't think. Like 51, 39, not great. 81, pretty good. Then 19, 52, 79, 61, 80. I wouldn't be taking any risks on Jimmy Webster. Josh Walker, the same. So there's not really much in that sort of ballpark. Jason Johanneson is a player that I've been keeping an eye on, though. He started pretty pricey and he entered the season in some pretty poor form. His last couple of games have been pretty good, though. 86 and 96. He's gone up 20k in value and he's still potentially undervalued at 315. So, I mean, I'm going to look at his score. If I could pull it off for Shannon Hearn and Jason Johanneson in the team for Cozzy and Giat wouldn't be a horrible score. I mean, sorry, a horrible result, but I'm going to be a little wary of that. Jaron Geary finally got back in the team, but he's a bit too pricey. Kell Hooker is good form in theory, but he's not the best scorer anymore. He's just not scoring great. So I wouldn't be putting Kell Hooker in the team at all. There's just not much when it comes. Jordan Roughhead, can score well, but he's only really had 2 games of note this year that's worth even considering. And I mean, just considering briefly, and then you decide not to put him in your team. So there's really just not much. And then now it's getting a little bit more pricey. Personally, look, I'm a bit disappointed I didn't pick up Darcy Moore last week. I should have gone with my gut. I should have stuck with the decision I had made, and then I would have had Darcy Moore in my team. And I think first of all my score would have been a lot better. Instead, I decided to go with Brad Crouch, which thus far has not paid off at all. There's really not much when it comes to defenders. And that's the thing. Then you're at him. He's just not, he scored. Look, if you go to total points, let's go out. I just want to see, how is Giat still scoring? Like, Giat probably still, I would say, still up there. I'm not going to get rid of him. Total points. Where is he? Who is the best defender? Callum Mills, the best defender of the season. Should have taken that. Wow, I have one of the top 6 defenders of the season. That's not good. That is really not good. It's Tom Stewart and it's Just. And then I've got Short 10th, Ridley 11th. That's not good. Not good at all. And that's the thing. Darcy Moore's 19th. Maybe I really should have made that. I really should have made that decision. I can't believe I did that. See, that's the thing. He's still the 26th best scoring defender in the AFL, which I know sounds pretty ordinary, but when you think about how many defenders there are in the AFL, it's not a terrible result. And look, he's only 10, 20 votes away. He's just a couple bigger games and he's back up there again. So I just feel like he's the type of player that can rebound. You're going to expect these ups and downs. This is his breakthrough season, and you also got to realize that Hawthorn aren't the best team. I'm going to stick with him. I think I'm going to stick with him for a bit longer. I can't believe I went with Brad Crouch. I cannot believe I went with Brad Crouch. Why did I do this? Should have stuck with Moore. Like he started the season with 66, 137 was a great score. Then 83, 33, 99, 108, 116. Like he looked like he was getting into a rhythm. And he looked like he was in some good form. And then he scores 55. Just decides to score 55 on me. I like Brad Crouch. He's now played 7 games, and I would say 5 of 8 games. Sorry, he's played 8 games. 5 of the 8 games have been pretty good, and 3 have been pretty shit. So on the majority, he plays well. I don't know if I'm going to regret that. I have a feeling I'm going to regret that decision personally. But we'll persist. I made it. I've made a couple of decisions this season that I'm kind of disappointed about, where I've brought in someone I brought in Dyson Happel when he returned from injury, then I changed my mind. I brought in Stephen Martin over Hickey. That was a bad one. I decided against my better judgment and not bring in Selwood after his discounted price at the start of the year, and he's been in fantastic SuperCoach form all year. And then I didn't. Then again, I brought in Darcy Moore and then changed my mind just before lockout. So look, I've made some pretty ordinary calls this year, and I'm not happy about that. But look, I feel as if it's not a disaster. I'm still scoring some decent scores. It's not a disaster. I'm going to stick with the Shannon Hearn plan, which is what I was intending to do anyway, which is why I decided not to keep the Darcy Moore trade. So that means next week, as that 6-pointer disappears, so he's going to play one more game, probably reduce in value again, Shannon Hearn, and then I'm going to pick him up next week, and that's when it'll all hopefully pay off. Hopefully, maybe Jason Johanneson might be available too, and I could have a pretty decent back line. And then it's fixing the forward line, and then maybe one more midfielder. But that's how I want to finish off the season. I'm hoping I don't get any big major injuries that are long term, and then I should be all okay. If you've got Tom Lynch in your team, you're pretty much screwed. At the moment, I reckon Jack Riewoldt probably will struggle a little bit too. He's going to get a lot of focus on him now, considering he's the only real man only real tall man playing in Richmond's forward line. But you're also going to take a look at that Callum Coleman Jones, a ruckman. Callum Coleman Jones. So Callum Coleman Jones, he's played 1 game in 4 years, listed at Richmond. He's a ruck forward, so he's a dual position player, and his price is only $161,200, and he's absolutely killing it in the VFL. He plays ruck, as I said, ruck and forward kind of matches. I reckon he'll be brought into the team. It could potentially allow, and as I said, his VFL form was fantastic. He's been fantastic. It probably will allow Riewoldt to have someone take on one of the defenders, so he's not completely tag teamed, and it'll also mean that Richmond has a cop out for the ruck as well, and that means that we're probably going to have a decent ruckman that we could pick up. Now, he is a little bit pricey, yes, but considering Soldo's not coming back this season, and also considering that Lynch is probably going to be missing for a month, maybe a bit more, maybe 5 to 6 weeks, he's probably going to get 5 to 6 games, and he could potentially go up in price in the mid-3s, depending on how much ruck time he actually plays and how many goals he scores. He's not a young player. The guy's in his early 20s, like 22 years of age, so he's actually going to make an impact. Now, the other option Richmond could go down is, oh my God, what's his name? Chol. The other option Richmond can go down is Chol, who's another ruck forward, dual position player. He's played a lot more footy over the last few years. A lot more footy, which is why his price is significantly higher. I don't think he's played this year. No, he hasn't played this year at all. He's a decent player, but he's not a SuperCoach scorer. If Richmond decide to put Chol in the team, don't pick Chol. That's it. He's not going to stay in the side. CCJ will probably be... It'll probably be between those two moved around. And Chol's already starting at pretty much what Flynn costs, right? So if you're thinking of bringing in a ruckman, don't bring in Chol, bring in Flynn. Flynn's going to get a lot more game time. And Chol, he's a good player in the sense that, he might kick 4 goals, but then the next 2 games he's going to have like 4 touches. That's the problem with Chol. He's a good player to have for Richmond in their reserves, and then come in, when they need a bit of ruck support and they need a bit of forward support, but he's not in their best 22, and he probably won't be. Personally, I'm hoping CCJ actually gets more of an opportunity than he does, because CCJ can actually play. That suspension's over. And he can play a bit more consistent. His form is a little bit better in the VFL, and he's a cheaper price, which means that he could be an option for me to downgrade to from Matt Flynn. And then I can get some late season value out of him too. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. This is probably what I'm going to stick with. I think this is definitely what I'm going to stick with, depending on teams. But I'm pretty sure this is definitely what I'm going to stick with. I'm thinking of not making a trade. The trade's going to be next week, as I mentioned. And yeah, but some insights over the next few weeks. A Brisbane player who I forgot his name, but the one that I mentioned before, he's probably the only one. Was it a Brisbane player? I think it was a Brisbane player. Let's pretend we're trading him out again. I think he's the only young player that's really worth looking at this week if you're thinking of downgrading. Lowest price. No, lowest price. Lowest price. Yeah. Harry Sharp. Where is he? Yeah, James Madden is probably the only player worth looking at if he plays, if you're thinking of downgrading. CCJ should be on your radar, and that's really it. Shannon Hearn, take a look at him. I'm hoping he has an ordinary game, so then his value goes down a little bit more. Then I'll just pick him up. Not an ordinary game, but like in the 80s, that'd be great. And then I'd pick him up. We know what he's capable of. Still gutted about Darcy Moore. Oh well. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please make sure to subscribe and yeah, also like the video. I'll be back at the same time next week. Thank you.